Today I want to talk about financing, how we do budget for the real budget head nerds on our blueprint projects. Here is a table that you can get a link to our agenda items, page 195 in our blueprint materials. And I'm going to highlight how we spend our money. I firmly believe that how you spend your money really shows what you care about, not what you talk about. So here I want to highlight a couple of projects. We've got the project estimates from 2014, and for these gateway projects, Northeast Corridor, Northeast Connector, and Airport Gateway, they were at around 47, 33, 58 million. But if you look at the new leveraged estimates, these went up some 200% to 134 million, 99 million, and 123 million. Now, we've been talking about some other projects in the last meeting that had much lower increases, but why are we not talking about these huge increases for projects that mostly help developers for future use? They don't help current citizens. So one thing we talked about was Northeast Park. It went from $10,000 to a proposed $18,000 budget, depending on how we vote, an 80% increase. It's large, but I don't think we should get distracted just by that and forget about our projects. Now, look at our priorities. The gateway projects get funded and built right away and finished within a few years, 2026, 2027, 2031. And again, the most part, especially for the Northeast, those are to build roadways and construction out in Milani where we haven't even built homes yet. And these are going to be homes that are not affordable for most Leon County citizens. So how do we do that? Why did we pick those? And I say we, it's not me and it's not staff. It's not their fault. Prior Blueprint Board directed them on what they wanted to see done first. And I think that I believe we should be adjusting those priorities. So let's see here. Just covering a couple of areas on how we budget things. Look at some of these other projects that are more community-based, parks, animal shelter, placemaking, things like that. Those get start some next year, some 2028, which that has been moved up. Or the construction is still 2028, but the project design is starting for THARP. And some of these don't end until 2038, 2040, compared to highway roadway projects. So again, you can see the significant increase, and I think we have to address those in this upcoming meeting. Now, how we fund these is we can issue debt, and it makes sense when we do because our interest rate may be lower than cost inflation, and we can get started on these projects. But there's no reason we couldn't apply that funding that we borrowed money for to community park projects and placemaking projects and trailway and bike and pedestrian safety projects. It didn't have to be all for gateway roadway projects. And so here's the debt section. Now, we already issued debt, and then this column, next column is issuing debt we are going to issue. And again, you can see we issued 37, 14, and 16 million already for these projects to push them ahead of all the others, and none for a number of the projects below. You can see that for our next round of borrowing money, most of it by far is also going to these projects. So why is it that these are getting uncontrolled cost increases and not being addressed? I plan to address those during the meeting, at the Blueprint meeting. And I won't talk about specific ones because we've already had some folks weigh in publicly on how they're going to vote, and I want to make sure that we're careful with following sunshine laws. Now, to be clear, I always want to say, I have my idea what the best choice is going into a meeting, but my votes are always based on the information that I get before, community input, and ideas, new concepts or arguments or information that may come up in the meeting. So again, this is a big spreadsheet, and I just wanted to focus on a few specific things as your resident certified public accountant commissioner. Thank you for sticking along. Hopefully this has been interesting for those finance and budget interested folks. If you like this, you'll like the rest of our videos leading up to our Blueprint meeting, which you can watch Thursday at 9 a.m. live from City Hall or attend in person.